Hey, good morning, everybody. Thought I'd show you guys just a little bit of the morning routine. So, in this bag, we have all the medication that I need to take due to, bad life choices and, you know, a life of stupidity. All right. So, it does have an effect after afterwards that affects the body. All right. So, now we're making 1 cup of specialty. Inside here is lemon juice, honey, about that much, as you can see back of the teaspoon, that much of turmeric and ginger. That's for blood pressure, chest, and whatever. And then, of course, you have to have coffee. It's a lekker coffee. And then, of course, you got the good stuff for like a day. So yeah, so that is so far the morning mission that I do every morning, and then medication, and then in the evening as well, take a couple of tablets as well. But the mornings is like the worst because I literally call it a miniature breakfast. It's tablets for chest, it's tablets for heart, it's tablets for um, blood pressure, and it's tablets for this, it's tablets for that. So, you know, this is why I tell people, just remember there's after effects. you know, if we knew this before going in to our silly behaviors, we wouldn't have listened anyway. I know I wouldn't have. I would have carried on. It's like they say, if you could go back in time and speak to yourself before you started or when you were just in the beginning stages of your addiction, would you have listened to yourself? And honestly speaking, I don't think I would have listened to myself, eh? Really don't think so. Right, I think today is the 28th, so I didn't look at the date. Excuse me. But it's 18 degrees. It is 10 past 7 in the morning. Lekker overcast chilly day. There's Fui Fui, my Freya baby, and there's the old man Jack. I dressed him up a little bit. Bought bandanas and because I had bandanas, but Freya had bandanas before. But when I moved from my last place, yeah, her bandanas all got lost. Um, you know, or should I say when I moved her, yeah, from the last place I had was in Sabia, I think it was, where Freya lived with me at the rehab. She was she was a doggy counselor. So yeah, I don't have my hat this morning. Don't ask me when I'm done with it. It disappeared on me. My mother says it walked away. So anyway, so this is Addiction of Days part 23, eh? Yeah, I think so. Right. Oh, peoples. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So once again, just to a reminder, guys, I'm not with NAAA, any of the little side groups. Okay, I'm not with them, as they are not with me. All right, I do use the literature once again. For example, the Just for Today, I find a very interesting read. So yeah, speaking of which, Yes, it is the 28th. Haha, I was right. So, yeah, reason I do this is mainly for myself, as well as to reach out to that, hopefully to reach out to that still suffering addict out there that may get something out of these videos. And also for maybe for you, that you may also, I don't know, benefit from it. Hopefully, God willing, that you get something from it. So yeah, so mense, I don't know if we should start with that, because today I don't really have it just for today. I mean, a thought for the day, just for today. Except that, yeah, this one. The thought for the day would be: misery loves company. Think about it. All right, misery loves company. Okay, think about that. And if your mind is working first early in the morning, you will see that it is possible. That misery does love company, and it is absolutely true. It is just like, when you look at, let's use like school for example. You got different groups in school. You got the bullies, you got the jocks, you got the nerds, you got the goths, you know, they all attract each other. The same thing with misery. Misery loves company. All right, I'm using the school thing as just a, you know, an example. All right. So misery loves company. That's the thought for the day. Think about it. And yeah, awesome. Let's get the day started, shall we? So October 28th, Addiction of Days, part 23. All right, just for today. Uh, Probably backwards, isn't it? Right, let's start. Heading is attitudes. Mm. We can also use the steps to improve our attitudes. Maybe talking about the 12 steps, eh? We can also use the steps to improve our attitudes. Now, just because I say that I'm not with AA or NA or that, right? Using the steps, the 12 steps, is a very good, how can I say, foundation for you to start your recovery on. Okay. It is an awesome foundation for you to start your recovery on. Okay. There's a lot of things from the NA and the AA program which is very beneficial. All right. So, yes. Okay. So, we can also use the steps to improve our attitudes because it will help you. Okay. Basic text, page 55. I had to look nicely there. I need to wear my glasses. Another side effect from a life of stupid decisions is poor eyesight. Right, people? Ever have a day when everything seems to be working against you? Do you go through periods when you are so busy taking people's inventories you can barely stand yourself? What about when you find yourself snapping at your coworker or loved one for no reason? When we find ourselves in this bleak frame of mind, we need to take action. When I use this as an example, I can only speak for myself, obviously. Only one year. Right, so like last week, a week before that as well, for some reason in the mornings, it felt like I was being pressured in the morning. You know, pressure was on top of me in the morning, and I was snapping. I was snapping at everything. Um, just getting angry for nothing. And like it says here, a bleak frame of mind. We need to take action. Okay, so once again, you know, 12 steps, right? So take inventory of self. Okay, so I had to take a step back. Um, I had to look at inside what was scratching on the inside that was irritating me, and hopefully work through it. And I have been getting better. All right. So, a bleak frame of mind, we need to take action. Okay, so don't just, let it go. Just, you know, if you're feeling pressured and that, talk to someone. It's a wonderful thing. It's talking to somebody, helps a lot. Right. See, I told my mama put to it. Lemon juice in again. At any point in the day, we can set aside a few moments and take a spot inventory. Very good. Right. Any point in the day, we can set aside a few moments and take a spot inventory. A lot of people say, but I don't have time during the day. Really? You don't have 2 minutes. 2 minutes of your time. Just to quickly sit, have a cup of coffee, and take a spot inventory of where you are for the day. 2 minutes. Don't make excuses. We addicts, we love to make excuses. And this is the thing about coming into recovery. Stop making excuses. Stop looking for the shortcuts. Just hit it and do it. It's like I like to tell people when they say, "What must I do going into recovery?" And I say to them, do the exact opposite of what you were doing when you were in addiction. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But for example, silly example, your mother asks you to wash dishes, right? And in addiction, you were like, "Yeah, I'll do it just now, do it just now." But now in recovery, your mother says, "Hey, can you wash the dishes for me?" You say, "Sure, mom, right now." Boom, do it. Stop looking for the shortcuts, people. Recovery is about doing everything that way, the opposite, and that way. Right. We examine how we are reacting to outside situations and other people. When we do, we may find that we are suffering from a plain excuse me, we are suffering from a plain old bad attitude. A negative outlook can hurt our relationships with our higher power and the people in our lives. A negative attitude can affect your relationship with your higher power and the people in your life. A lot of times we think we're not the ones that are negative. But if you stop and take a spot inventory of yourself and be honest with yourself, you'll see that you are. Most of the times, we are the cause of our own problems. Okay? We are the architect of our own problems. And this is why we must do a spot inventory and be honest when we do it. Right? When we are honest with ourselves, we frequently find that the problem lies with us and our attitude. Okay, just like I just said. Okay, let's read that again. When we are honest with ourselves, we frequently find that the problem lies with us and our attitude. Sometimes we just don't like somebody, okay, and that is normal. You don't like everybody you meet, okay. So sometimes at work, there's that one person that just rubs you the wrong way, and you can, when you see this person, you snap at them. You know you're arrogant and all this to that person, and it can affect your day because now you've met this person. So now you got to do it the opposite way around. Be kind and speak gently to this person, and you will see that your day will be far better. Who's moving here? All right. We have no control over the challenges life gives us. For example, that one person at work that rubs you the wrong way. That's a challenge life gives you. What we can control is how we react to those challenges. As I said, to that person, be kind to that person. Speak nicely to that person. Otherwise, it's going to affect your day at work or school or wherever. At any point in time, we can change our attitude. The only thing that really changes in recovery is us. Let's see that again. The only thing that really changes in recovery is us. Okay, so it doesn't say recovery in the book, it says Narcotics Anonymous, right? But as I've said, I am not part of Narcotics Anonymous and that. So I tend to change that to just to recovery. Okay. So don't come and send the message. Where does it say recovery? Right, so let's read it again. The only thing that really changes in recovery is us. All right? Everything about who you were in addiction has got to change. So when you're going into recovery, everything changes. Everything. Your attitude, your outlook, okay? Your health, okay? Your spirituality, your home affairs, your love life, you. All right? And this to me was the wonderful thing about recovery. The only thing that really changes in a recovery is us. The wonderful thing for me in recovery was, how can I say, rediscovering me, rediscovering who I was, rediscovering what I liked. And you know what? There was a couple of surprises along the way in rediscovering myself. Things I never knew about myself. And this is part of the journey. And this is part of the magical journey of recovery. Recovery can be magical or it can be a drag. It's up to you which one it is. If you're bringing your I can say old behavior into recovery, it's going to be a drag. When you bring surrender and complete surrender to recovery, you're going to find out that you're going to enjoy recovery, and that's going to be a blessing. Right, so recovery gives us the tools to move out of the problem and into a solution. So what's the problem? Eh? The problem for me, okay, would be I was the problem. To move out of the problem, I was the problem. Addiction and me were a problem. To move out of the problem and into the solution. The solution was opening my ears, surrendering completely. But first and foremost was wanting it, wanting recovery, wanting a better life, wanting a new life. A solution that is the solution for me. Maybe different for you, but it was wanting it. That's the big thing, was wanting it. I wanted recovery. I wanted my family back. I wanted this back. I wanted that. I wanted this. That's the solution. Just for today, throughout the day, I will check my attitude. I will apply the steps to improve it. By taking a self inventory or a spot check of yourself during the day, through the day, throughout the day. So you can constantly improve on yourself. And most importantly in recovery is it doesn't matter how long you've been in recovery, you can always learn something new. Okay? You can always learn something new that you can make you sit there and go, oh, wow. Okay? As it says in the Bible, it says you've got to remain teachable. So you can have 1 year sober, we can have 32 years sober. Remain teachable. Just as you may have something to teach somebody else, you may learn something from somebody else. And that all falls under attitude. Hey, Freya. Freya. Hey, you want me to stand up? Silly dog. But anyway, that all falls under attitude, as I was saying. Remaining teachable. Okay? So don't think your way is the best. Your way is the only way. Your way worked for you if you now have a good couple of years behind you. Okay? Because that's the whole thing about recovery. Is the further you get down the road, the more you learn what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And what you learn from others can greatly help you. So change your attitude in recovery. You're going to have, like it said in that reading, bad days where you think everything's upon you. And you're going to sit there and you're going to ask yourself, and I've asked myself this many a times. Not so recently was being in hospital with COVID. Lying there and saying, what the hell was this all worth? Why did I go through all of this? Just to get this, and then I was being very negative. To get this illness and probably die from it. Why did I give up my love of drugs? Wasn't it better? Wasn't that life better? And the answer is no, it wasn't. Because when you're honest with yourself and you take that spot check of yourself, okay, and look at your attitude And you realize that, nah, nah, the life you have now is 10 times better than the life you had then. As I can't remember where this saying comes from, but I've said it before. Is that your, I can speak to this first person, so my best day high is still far better than no, my worst day sober. That one. My worst day sober is still far better than my best day high. And it's the truth. Think about it. Be honest with yourself. Do that spot check. Just remember, when you're having those tough days where you feel everything's caving in on you, remember, use your support group as well. Your sponsor, your meetings, self-inventory of self. It's all got to do with your attitude. You're going to have a negative attitude in recovery, you're not going to make it. And that is the truth. So people that sit there and go, when people sit and they go, oh yes, you know, I'll just love one, just one, gonna have just one. And you tell them, you know what, but one, it doesn't stop at one, and you know this. You know it doesn't stop at one. Yeah, but you know, I've been so good, man. Eh? So, you know, but just one. And you get those people that they keep trying to convince themselves that that one is what they need. Their attitude is completely wrong and they're not in the right place. So this may sound a bit harsh, but you turn around and you tell them, well, go have your one. And when you are ready to come back, I'll be waiting for you. With open arms, I'll be waiting for you to come back, that we can get this done. So when your attitude is right, that you want your recovery, come. That's the whole thing about going into rehab, going into counseling, whatever. Your attitude needs to be right about your recovery. If it is not, you're not going to get through anything. You must want it, people. The right attitude in recovery gets you everywhere. Through the bad days, through the worst days, through the lack of days. As it says, I think it's a Star Wars reference, if I remember correctly. Hey, what's his name? I forget his name. Anyway, at the end of every darkness, at the end of every light, there is darkness. And at the end of every darkness, there is light. So just remember, final words. Addiction is easy. Recovery is hard. Because it means you need to work for it. You need to go for it. Take it. Ride it. It's yours. Awesome, people. God bless you all. Have a super day. Adios.